Hello, everyone. Welcome to The Gist. Our goal is to keep you informed about the current events and to give you the context behind the headlines. Today's topic is One Nation, One Election. This topic is making headlines since the introduction of the 129th Constitutional Amendment Bill in the Lok Sabha on 17th of December. What does One Nation, One Election mean? The bill seeks to empower the Election Commission of India to conduct elections to the Lok Sabha and the state legislative assemblies at the same time. It implies simultaneous elections. Before we dive into the details of the bill, let us take a historical context of the bill. Government of India Act 1935 first sought to align the elections to the legislative bodies in the pre-independent British India. India began its democratic journey in 1952 with the general elections first held in that year. The period between 1952 to 1967, elections were held simultaneously at the centre and the state level. Thereafter, it was discontinued. Subsequently, the Law Commission of India, in its 170th report published in 1999, the Parliamentary State Committee report in 2015, Niti Aayog report in 2017, and finally the High-Level Committee on Simultaneous Elections, chaired by former President Mr. Ramnath Kovind, all have suggested for simultaneous elections, citing reasons such as uninterrupted governance, reducing electoral expenses, and also reducing election-related disruptions, to name a few. Let us now take a look at the life cycle of a bill before it becomes an act. The first is the introduction of bill in either house of the parliament. For a constitutional amendment bill, it is imperative that it needs to be introduced only in either house of the parliament and not that of the legislative assembly. Step 2 is the committee stage, where the bill is either referred to a joint parliamentary committee or a select committee of the parliament. Step 3 is the consideration stage, where the Parliament, with the required majority, either passes the bill or declines the bill. If the bill is passed by the Parliament with a special majority, it is then sent to the President, who shall give their assent to the bill. Let us now proceed to look at the provisions of the bill. At the outset, the bill seeks to amend 3 articles of the Constitution and inserts one new article, namely Article 82A. Article 82A contains 7 subclauses. In subclause 4, it defines the expression simultaneous election to mean general elections held for constituting the House of the People, Lok Sabha, and all the legislative assemblies together. The next article is Article 83. The sum and substance of Article 83 is that if Lok Sabha is dissolved before the end of its full term, then the next Lok Sabha shall continue for the period as is equal to the unexpired term. Another important clause is subclause 6, which basically states that the newly constituted Lok Sabha shall not be considered as continuation of the previous House. This implies that any bill pending in the previous Lok Sabha will expire. The next amendment is to Article 172, which basically carries the same provision as is applied to the Lok Sabha, but Article 172 deals with the State Legislative Assembly. Now we proceed to the third article that is amended, which is Article 327. The amendments is the insertion of the words conduct of simultaneous elections after the words delimitation of constituencies. We have now dealt with the introduction of the bill in the Parliament. Now the Lok Sabha has referred the bill to a joint parliamentary committee of the Parliament. A joint parliamentary committee is a committee consisting of members of both the houses of the Parliament and includes members from the ruling party as well as the opposition. The other alternative is to refer the bill to a select committee. A select committee comprises only of the members of the House in which the bill has been introduced. The bill has faced objections from the opposition, citing lack of special majority at the time of introduction of the bill. A reading of the parliamentary rules show that in case of a constitutional amendment bill, a special majority is not required at the stage of introduction or even at the stage of referring the bill to a committee of the parliament. Special majority is required only in the subsequent stages. Reference can also be made to Rule 157 of the Rules of Procedure and Conduct of Business in the Lok Sabha. Passage of a constitutional amendment bill invokes Article 368, which in subclause 2 states that a bill needs to be passed in each house by a majority of the total membership of that house and by a majority of not less than 2/3 of the members present and voting. It is then sent to the President, who shall give their assent to the bill. Let us now take a look at the advantages of one nation, one election. The first advantage is, of course, significant reduction in election expenses. Just to bring some fact, the total estimated expenditure for the 2024 election, according to news reports, was rupees 1.35 lakh crore. This even surpassed the 2020 US presidential elections. The second advantage is of uninterrupted governance. Frequent polling, imposition of model code of conduct, and showering of freebies by politicians can often lead to policy paralysis situations, and that can be restrained by synchronizing elections at the center as well as the state level. The other advantages are as listed. The proposal of one nation, one election also comes with a set of challenges. The first and the foremost is a threat to the federal structure. Now, federal structure is a part of the basic structure of the Indian Constitution. With imposition of one nation, one election, there is a potential concern that national parties may overshadow regional voices, leading to disruption of the federal structure. The second concern is constitutional hurdles and legal complexities. Implementation of one nation, one election requires constitutional amendments as well as amendments to legal acts, such as Representation of People Act. The other concerns are as shown. I would like to cite that India is not the only country to implement one nation, one election if the bill becomes an act, but other countries like Indonesia and South Africa have already adopted the process of simultaneous election. That's all for the video today. Do stay connected so you're always in the know. Thank you for watching.